Okay, I will call the committee meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brewer.
Here.
Trustee Grant. Here. Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee Tates.
Here.
Trustee Todd. Here. And Trustee Zupan.
Here.
Okay, we'll go right into public comment. All questions and comments shall be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may comment on any matter pertaining to the business of Sauk Village. Each speaker is allowed one opportunity to speak for 3 minutes and may not engage in debate.
Heidi Parker, Sauk Village. I would like to ask again that public comments be moved to the end of the committee meeting so the public can ask questions about what was discussed at the end of the meeting. I would also ask that the executive session be moved to the
We
building.
can't hear you.
Heidi Parker, Sauk Village. I would like to ask once again that the public comments in the committee meetings be moved to the very end of the meeting so the public can ask questions about what was discussed during the meeting. I would also ask that executive sessions be again moved to the end of meetings like they were previously under its administrations, unless the attorney needs to be present. But it would be a need for maybe the executive session to be early. This would eliminate department heads and the public sitting here waiting for you to start the meeting. Those are my comments.
Okay, thank you. As far as the executive session, the reason for it being is something that probably will be discussed and voted on at the other meetings where we have executive session. Executive session is at the board meetings. It's usually something that we're going to eventually, or we're going to vote on. That's why it's done at the beginning instead of the end, because if it's at the end, everything else has been taken care of, and so that wouldn't make any sense. And a lot of times we have to, the only time the board can get together is during open meeting, where we have to, a lot of times we have to have executive sessions that pertain to some business at hand. It'd either be a real estate deal, a personnel issue, and those things have to be discussed. They have to be discussed in that proper manner. We just can't talk about it even doing regular business.
If I may, that never was a problem in the past, and if you need to do
They
that,
never had. I've been on the board for.
why not? Mayor Hayes used to call it an early meeting.
We're not going to engage. But what I was
I
going
was
to say,
just trying to make a
we
point.
never had executive session at the end of the meeting. Never.
I can put those many
I
minutes.
appreciate it if you can. I
I will.
appreciate that, because I've been on the board since 2006, never saw an executive session at the end.
I'll send you some.
Bernadine Hopkins. My questions are as follows. Excuse me. What are residents being charged for the refuse pickup by Republic? And is the village, is the village administration charging residents more than what they're paying Republic? These are my questions. How much and why? Are there regularly scheduled street sweeping cycles? If so, what are they? And does Republic do it, or does Sauk Village do it? Will there be another limb pickup? And this is just dealing with the water. I wanted to know what has happened to the Lake Michigan water referendum, and I wanted to know will there be any action regarding it? or any implementation in any fashion? And the final question is, what is this administration doing to lower residential costs?
Is that it? Okay, your water bill, your garbage bill from Republic went up again this year. It's going to be an increase for the next 13 years of 3%. That was voted on early part of this year. I think it was in March or February or March. And so that increase, I think it's up to $39 now every 2 weeks. So, I'm sorry, $39 every 2 months, so every 2 months. That was voted on. So that's what the price is. As far as our street sweeping, we do the street sweeping. Public Works, the village does street sweeping. They try to do it on your garbage day, but sometimes it doesn't happen, depending on what is going on in Public Works. But it's usually scheduled for the same time that your garbage is being picked up, because the cars are not supposed to be on the street. And I didn't understand lower resident costs for what. So, I mean, we're always trying to save money, period. And what is this administration doing to lower costs? Right now, we haven't voted anything to lower costs. We're trying to bring economic development here, so our taxes won't be as high. We don't want to rely upon taxes, because that's the reason why we have very little commerce, and the commerce we do have is in the TIF district. We only get a certain amount of money from that, because that money is being tied up, because that's what the TIF district does, and we don't get a lot. We get administrative costs from the TIF. So as far as what we're trying to do, we're trying to bring commerce, we're trying to bring some development here, so we can have sales tax, more sales tax, and more property tax that is not engulfed in a TIF district. That's it.
The water referendum. The
Oh,
water
the water.
referendum.
Well, the water is ongoing. I have a trustee that's in charge of that now. She's gathering information to bring back to the village to see, let everyone know how much it's going to cost to move forward. And it's going to be a cost that was stated before. There's going to be a cost in Lake Michigan water, and there's a lot of different variables that go into it. You just can't hook up and turn it on. So, and you got a lot of things that have to be taken care of, a lot of breaks. That's mandatory. That's by the IDNR. They're not going to give you a hookup to any municipality or any other entity unless you do have a less amount of water main or breaks in the village. And it behooves us to do that too, because if we hook up and we have water flowing, it's a meter. The meter that we get, whoever we buy the water from, just like you buying the water, you getting the water from us, it's a meter. It's metered. And if we hook up and knowingly have too many water breaks, then the meter's just going on and on, and we're paying for it. Well, you guys, us, the residents are paying for it. The village doesn't have money to pay for that, so they have to pass that cost on to the residents.
I just wanted to reiterate I didn't understand what you said about you said Republic charges $39 every 2 months or
Yes,
every
every
other
2
month?
months. That's what our garbage bill is, $39 every 2 months. Every 2 months.
Not every other month.
You get your water bill every 2 months. You don't get your water bill every month. You get your water bill every 2 months. It's on your water bill.
That's every other month.
Okay. Thank you.
No more questions? Oh, okay.
Just like to say, Dennis Farmer, Chairman of the Senior Advisory Council, and just want to say that we did get our policies and procedures, I think back to the trustee board with some changes and some recommendations from the mayor and trustee Tate. And so we did make some changes, and hopefully you all have the copies, and you all can review that, see that's on the agenda for today. And Mayor, when did you want me to go over the plan specifics for the meetings that we had? Is that, what meeting is that? Executive meeting, the committee meeting, or which meeting do I talk about the agenda for the senior committee that you spoke of last
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, that you spoke of last week, that you said you wanted me to let you all know what was going on with the senior advisory council. That's not at every meeting, I'm sure. Is that one specific meeting?
Okay, is that
That's a question.
question? Okay, I just wanted to be abreast of what's going on. From time to time, I will be contacting you and about some, just finding out what's going on, how things are going over there. As far as you see it's on the agenda tonight to discuss the meeting, the handbook of the policy. So that'll be something that we will discuss, and I'll talk to the board, and you'll be sitting right here. And but as far as from time to time, yeah, I just wanted to kind of find out from you how things are going, and that's what I was talking about. Not about your meeting itself or announcements. You'll have a spot on the agenda each and every board meeting, which will be the second and the fourth board meeting. So if you can have somebody here to give us an update of what's going on, okay. Not just with the senior advisory council, it's with the seniors, period.
Okay.
So if you can let somebody have someone here, yourself or your second, whoever's in your vice chairman or whatever, to give us a report, that'll be something that'll be on every board meeting agenda.
Second and
fourth Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Judy Cast here. I agree with the conversation on having questions from the audience last instead of first. Inasmuch as this meeting is where you discuss everything that you're probably going to vote on at the next meeting, I can't make comments on what's on this agenda right now, because I don't know what you're going to say or what your theory is or any of the trustees. But if we had questions after the fact, we could comment on our feelings as to what you're going to do or what you think you're going to do. Therefore, I think it's wiser to have the questions at this meeting at the end. Secondly, I would like to say that I was at the Oktoberfest. I had a great time. I won a couple things.
Sure.
And I thought it was very well, a lot of people there. A lot of people I haven't seen in a lot of years. And I found it very, very nice. And I thank you for that. And that's it.
Okay. I have to apologize for the public comment because I had meant to have it at the end, but I didn't get a chance to convey that in time, so that's why it happened. But from point going on, it will be public comments at the end of the committee meeting. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any other? Okay, we're gonna go down to number 5. Resolution adopting the village strategic plan of progress. Okay, did everyone, first of all, get a chance to actually look at it? I'm sure we've been looking at it for the last 4 months when I put it out there. It include updating our comprehensive plan. And there was a few trustees came in and told me that it was gonna be a precursor. Basically, it's gonna be something that, we can have something right now and then, add on to the comprehensive plan. As everyone knows, we did have the okay to have someone do the comprehensive plan for us. And that cost usually is $150,000, so our esteemed Economic Development Director was able to go out and find and get a grant and get it done. We were in the final, I think the last time I reported, we was in the final bundle of villages that were looked at where we were accepted. So they will be doing our comprehensive plan. It's going to take about a minimum of 18 months. We're going to put a group together comprising of a lot of people, residents, department heads, trustees, because it's something that's going to last. The last one was 1999, so that's what, 18 years ago. So this is going to be something that's going to be pretty extensive. Also increased efficiency, improving our village finances and updating our financial policy and procedures. That's something that is being looked at. We're not asking to vote on that right now, but that's a guideline also that I had tried to put together. This plan that I put together is something that I put together a while ago, and I updated it. As a matter of fact, the copies that I'm going to hand out to you tonight is just been done. So the ones that you have are not the ones that you're going to receive now. And now you get a chance to look at it. I just changed it a couple of pages today. So, because I had some people to come in and ask and look at it. And you can see that it has something in there for building stronger and safer neighborhoods, creating quality jobs, improving our infrastructure, vibrant commercial districts, which we're basically getting into, because that's where the future of this village is in commercial. We don't do a lot of retail. We do a lot of industrial, but we do have retail, and if we do those, we have to make it compete with the other communities. We do have a heads up because we're the first red light. Also, the village safety, and continue to rebuild our parks and recreation, guaranteeing clean water and healthy environment. That's something that's ongoing and something that's mandated. So we just have to get the logistics out the way and the finances for that. But that is definitely a viable plan, and it will happen. We have to not invest, but we have to partnership with the schools. We can do all these things, but if these schools are not up to the standards that it should be, people see that and they still won't move out. And also, I don't like to tear them all down, because now you definitely lose revenue, because if you tear the house down, you don't get revenue from that house. But if we can, which we're doing, trying to get partnership with the land bank to get someone to come in and rehab these homes and put them back on the rolls, on the tax rolls, so we can continue to get money from them and somebody can own a home. And so that's what we're looking for. I understand that, renters, okay, but if you can pay $1,500 or $1,200 a month to rent, you can buy a home. You definitely can buy a home. So that's something that we would like to really, really get involved in. I'm not saying I'm against the landlords. I mean, landlords are landlords. But if you pay that kind of money each and every month, you can afford a house. Even if you pay $800 a month, you can afford a mortgage. So everyone can get a chance to look at that, and we will be voting on that resolution next week. I will put in your boxes the actual resolution. I had to get that kind of changed, but you'll have that in time. You'll have that in your box in time to vote on it, so we can get this started and get this in place. As I stated, we have 4 months to really look at it and make comments. So You'll get the resolution in your boxes before the end of the week. It's just a matter of me copying. Any questions? Yes.
Yes. I was just double checking again the original versus the current version. The reference to appendix A has been removed for the current version, but the reference to appendix E is still there.
E or B?
E is boy,
Okay.
is still there with no appendix.
Okay.
So you want to amend it.
Yes, I'll take that part out. Yeah, you did bring that up. Okay.
That's on page 17.
Yes. Thank you.
Question.
Yes.
With a lot of the, I think it's a lot of good ideas and everything, but one thing that just kind of I want to be curious, I'm just curious about is to get a lot of this done, will take funding. And I was wondering, is there another step that we're going to endure as far as the funding of the strategic plan?
Some of this that's already there is already in place. Is there anything specific you were?
Well, I mean, pretty much anything for Parks and Rec.
Okay.
It's gonna take either someone just coming in and volunteering their time to create or bring any programs or anything. It takes money. And I was just wondering are we gonna go through any process of getting money? We're gonna go over the next budget. As far as Parks and Rec, I mean, that's just an example. I mean, anything else it's still money involved because it's time. And when you use anyone's time to bring anything, either economic development or it's time, and it could cost extra money. So I was just wondering, is there any type of plan put into place to fund a lot? I mean, are we gonna try to find a bottom line that we need to fund the strategic plan?
Okay. Now, you're absolutely right. On page 18, and properly funding, years ago, and it was taken away, I'm thinking it was 2010, and I could be wrong. But the Parks and Recs had their own line item from the tax. And that money served as they would pay for a lot of the activities and also full-time person. Since then, I think it was 2010, but I'm not sure, it might have been 2009, that budget was cut in half. That's how they eliminated that full-time person. But that full-time person put on those programs, put on those athletic, they had basketball and other activities, they put that on. And what they did was they funded a lot of that out of the taxpayers, but then when they had corn and dog roast, they used that money for that to do the Easter egg basket. I mean, it was just an ongoing thing, and over the years, that has been cut out to the wayside for whatever reason it wasn't important. So that's how that budget, at that time, was around $68,000, and now you can see it's like 20 sometimes. But I'm right there to let you know that at the time that it wasn't that important. So what I'm looking to do is to bring it back with a person that is going to be qualified to do that. Because the person that was there before, they actually did my kids. So that's how long they've been there. And it was, I'm sure it was a lot of trial and error, but they had a heck of a volunteer base. I mean, they had a heck of a volunteer base. We see that that's not happening now. So most times we have to get somebody or pay somebody to do something. but I don't wanna pay somebody just to sit there. If they're gonna have, we have to have somebody that's going to actually, or we present a plan to them and if they can implement that plan, then fine. But it's not that give me 3-4 months and I'm gonna do this, that, no, we have, if you're paying for something, you put it out there, you ask for, this is what you want, this is what the pay is. If you want it, fine. If you don't, okay, someone else. But I'm looking to put more money back into the parks, but I'm also looking to get something out of it. So I don't have a problem with putting money into it because it shows that you actually care about it. Because we don't even have, we had a baseball, we don't even have a baseball team anymore. We have virtually no sports, but the money is still, the money came in from somewhere. They had money for that somewhere. And as a matter of fact, I think they had more residents or more, I think it was more residents back at that time. It may be the same amount now, but if that's the case, then shame on us that we need to put something together for the youth, for after-school programs. And then after, not only that, once we get programs started and underway for a year or so, now we go out to the government and say, we have this, we need funding for that, and do we qualify for those things? But they want to see something. They don't want to see what's on paper. They want to see something. And rest assured, if we do put something together, an athletic program or whatever, you got the business out there will support it too. That's where your sponsorships come in, that you don't have to charge the arm and the leg just to have certain days you have sponsorship. So yes, that's why this is in here, and that's what the premise of this is to, let's start it again, let's throw some money at it, but let's make sure the money that we're doing, that we're getting for, so we're gonna have to really vet that person that's gonna head that up and then help them along once they get it started. So yes, there's gonna be some money. There's gonna be some real money, not no $3,000. Any other questions?
Can I go through this tonight, talk to you tomorrow about this, because I had this one.
Yeah, I know it was several. It was several. I mean, because it just like
Well, I had
anything.
a couple of things in there, but if
Just-
instead of
okay.
getting into it tonight, let me go through it tonight.
Okay, I mean, it's, you know, it's, when you look at some things, you know, it pertained a while back when I did this, but then now things may have changed a little bit. And just like Trustee Jones was saying, I mean, and we've been saying this is not his first time talking about this. He's been talking about this since he became on Parks and Recs, that there's no money there. I mean, you can't expect someone to come up with and do all these things for what it is. True enough, yes, volunteerism, but volunteerism is exactly what you said, volunteerism. But if you make it a position, just like any other job, you expect a certain return for your money. So yes, now this is something you can look at. You have a week. We're gonna implement it. I mean, we've been talking about this, like I said, for the last 4 months. It took me going back and forth because there was some things that were put in there, and we'll put it. It'll be on the agenda next week to be voted on. Yes, next week. But they'll have a chance now to look at this, and I'm gonna give a copy of the resolution all the trustees put it in their file.
If I could just add, I'm one of the trustees who said to the mayor, I look at this as really an interim comprehensive plan to some extent. And that's only because the kinds of things that are addressed in here are things that should also be in the comprehensive plan. And that comprehensive plan is a long-term, or long-range plan for what we want our community to do. It's something that we work towards. It's nothing that's going to be an overnight, and there's nothing here that's going to be overnight either. But it's the starting point to where we're going to get to with that comprehensive plan is how I do this.
Right, I understand, but there's a couple of things in here that I don't think should be in here.
Yeah, and I had the same comment too, but then he did tell me that.
Right, but then I see just a couple other things, so
Yeah.
that's why I said I wanted to review, because now it's different. Some of the stuff that I was looking at
Yeah.
is not in here
Right,
now.
one of the
which is
first things
good.
I was questioning is not here, so I was like, okay, I don't get it too.
Right, I understand what this is, but there's just few things, just minor.
Okay. With all masterpieces, we always have questions. Okay, that's it for that. Senior policy. Okay, you know, this was brought, it's not my policy, it's just some questions that I want you guys to understand. I don't know if you have your policy. I did attend the Senior Advisory Council meeting that they had last Thursday. Me and Trustee Tate were there. I did have a couple of questions. Just so you know, this is going to be presented again this coming Tuesday. I did have some questions, and they seem to have taken it out, but that's me. So if you feel that, you know, that your questions weren't taken out, I'm sure everybody's got a copy. I don't know if everybody got a copy of the new one, minus the stuff that I had in there, but I had a few questions. And I do want, and it was asked to me, who is going to be running the senior center. The senior center is going to be ran by the council with the backing of the mayor, and not explain that to them at the meeting, that quite naturally if they have any type of disagreement or whatever it may be, and they can't solve it, the next step, and I asked them what they think the next step is, and they said to come to me. I said, okay, fine. So there'll be, senior council will have their own, as we did before. The seniors will make their own report, but there is something in there that we have to kind of work out, that the seniors have control of all the money. And I did have a question about that one, and that's something that we need to, or is it page 5? Okay. Yeah, seniors will have control over all financial planning and all revenue collected on behalf of the center. That's something that has to be real. I didn't see that. Someone brought that to my attention. Anything, because that's what we're at now. We have that problem right now. There's money that's being told to me that someone has, and it was collected on behalf of the village, and it needs to be brought back to, I mean, that's because something like this was in there. So if we can come to a conclusion that all money's collected be turned over to the village, and if you need that money, that you quite naturally petition and show bills for it, and just to say, I'm going to spend A, B, and C. So all money, that's something that I feel that should be, if it's collected on behalf of the village, then not saying that you can't spend it, but at least bring something to the village and say, okay, we want to buy pop or whatever. Here's the receipt. We know we have $50 in the pot. I spent $45. You need to have it paid. That's a little better than just, you know, being, because we need checks and balances. Somebody, yes, sir.
I think we had this discussion a few months ago, and I'm not sure where it lies in the state statute, but I think it's improper for you
Can't hear you.
delegate that authority for them having control of the money. I do agree that the money comes to the village and the village maintains it. But for them to have control, I think by state law, you cannot delegate that and let the senior committee do that.
Well, if they raise, say for instance, they have a event and they raise $500 in that event, and they want to have another event. They know they got $500 in their kitty to buy supplies to have the second event. I don't see where there would be a problem that we could say no, that they couldn't do that. I mean, they raised the money for that. I mean, I'm not saying they should somebody come and pay their car note with it, but I mean, but if it's something pertaining to that and they need upfront money, that's why they have fundraising.
But it's not a petty cash fund. If they collect $500 from an event, then that money comes to the village.
Yes?
And the village gives it a line item and stores that money.
Okay.
And then they come back and get that money.
Okay,
But
good.
they don't have a petty cash drawer sitting in the
Oh, yeah, I
community
didn't-
center waiting for that.
I didn't see a petty cash. I didn't see a petty cash though.
Let me clear up something. We did talk about this before. We talked about legal line item, and that's something that we talked to Mohammed about.
money, you shouldn't be, the money that you get for the rental should be done Monday to Friday. They're not gonna pay you on Saturday.
But, you know, sometimes, you know,
No, I don't.
no.
Actually,
We was trying to cover,
I
yeah.
did have that question, for the rentals, for.
That should be done Monday to Friday.
Who, regardless of who's collecting the money, where does that money go?
It goes to the village. It goes to the village.
To the village, to
Yeah.
the general fund?
No, if it's a, depend on what it may be. It goes to the village in general fund with a line item. So if it's
You're
a,
misunderstanding me. So I'm clear. Are you saying the senior advisory council and the senior committee will be the recipient of any rental money collected from events that are held in that center?
no, wait a minute. You're talking about as far as their rental,
If I have a baby
the
shower
rental fee,
for a friend of mine.
the rental fee.
And I pay the rental fee.
Okay,
To rent it out for a bridal shower,
Okay.
baby shower, whatever.
okay,
Who is the recipient of that rental
the
income?
village.
And not the senior committee?
No.
Okay.
No, that's the same thing as with the rec center. He doesn't take that money that he
I don't
makes.
think it's clearly delineated.
Oh, okay, well, he takes the money that he rents it out for, and it goes right to the village. And that's, I'm sorry, the Parks and Recs, or they pay that money to the village. That money goes into it, and there is an item in the budget for revenue for rental. It's not on the, I'm not sure to bring my budget with me, I don't think it's on there for the seniors as of yet, but it may be, but that will be something that will be. But that money for rental will go to the village, that's income. Because you're renting out the village, that's the village building, so you're renting the village building out. Now, if you have a fundraiser, everybody keeps saying fundraiser, whatever, but you're making money selling hot dogs, whatever. That money goes to that particular group for them to use for, as I say before, supplies and stuff.
Well, let me chime in. Okay, this is where it's set up. The applications are at the front desk. If someone wants to rent the community center, they request it, I approve it. The application never leaves the front desk, and that's where the money stays. It never, no one goes out and collect money for rentals. All that business is handled right there at the front desk, and then that's when I make the phone calls to, explain, go over the policy of the rental. Yeah, but money,
We have the same purpose, trustee
Right.
Jones. Maybe, the sentence might need to be rephrased, but, village has control, village gets the money. When I say financial planning, it's, we're looking at the line item, see how much money we have to spend. That's all it means. We're not collecting any money or anything, but if for some reason, like say for instance, a person can't make it to, to the village hall by 5 o'clock, and their event is on Saturday,
They're short, yeah.
They short.
on the policy, normally it should be in 2 weeks prior to their
Right.
event.
Not a day before.
A day, Monday, that's even pushing it, especially in my situation because I have to approve it. Then you have to come back to put your deposit down and pay your rental off. So we already looking at 2 days. So, I try to give them at least 10 days, 10 business days to, fill out the application, put the money in.
Policy, but I don't think anybody's gonna turn them down. What she says, I'm running, I'm gonna get there or whatever, I got the money in hand, so, the check in hand, because we only take a certified check for money order, so.
What's the certified check?
Certified check from the bank.
The,
Certified check from
the deposit gonna have,
Certified money order, I know there was a certified
the
check.
bank. Get a certified check.
Okay, you're gonna spend that extra money to have
Well,
it.
Well,
normally at the front desk, your deposit would be in cash because that deposit comes back. So if you're making out a money order or a certified check to the village, now you have to take that money back and then you have to go cash it. So normally the deposit is in cash. And then once you sign off on it, that everything, the walls and the paint and everything is still in place, and you know, to okay their deposit to be returned to them, the cash comes right back to them. Yeah.
Please use the mics.
So I believe they have a separate fee for $100 for the cleaning fee. So that $100 will be in cash, I assume, and that the actual rental fee will be in a cashier's check or money order. That's what I think, because I think it's a $100 fee, if I'm not mistaken.
It says that on page 14.
So it'll be two cashiers, there'll be check and cash, both, or check and, or cash and money order.
So I guess I still don't understand why we have two very separate, different policies for the rental. I would think that they should be very similar, if not the same.
You mean, when you say for rental, you mean for the senior center? The senior center? It wasn't, they were charging actually a little bit more, and I did tell them that they should, because they wanted $75 an hour. So that means you're competing, so where do you think everybody's gonna rent from? Where they can pay $30 an hour.
Right.
So, and that would be kind of, I'm not trying to take money away from you, Trustee Jones, but, you know, you were getting more money.
But he's not getting the money anyway.
No, I'm talking about rent, I'm talking about rental.
One policy for both facilities.
Or just make the amount the same.
This all came about to talk about the dysfunction of the senior center before, so they had some policy. Can't hear you. This all came about because of all the things that were going on at the senior center before. So, policies and procedures should be uniform across the board. And Jones and I talked about that, and there shouldn't be too much of a difference. I don't know if you read it, and all we're gonna do is
Well, anyway, as I stated, it'll be on the agenda next week to be voted on again. Everyone should have a copy of the newer one that was given on the 13th, Friday the 13th. For the rental and then also for the policies, as I stated before. Right now, everything is open-minded, and I informed the advisory council once they get the okay, they would be commissioned to run day-to-day operations, and everything else that's in there would have to come through them. Right now, there's a group that comes on Sunday, so I'm hoping that if there's nobody for that Sunday, and they did say this, they did bring this up at the meeting, that they would consider. So that's something that they can, because I'm sure every Sunday there's been the group that's been there, and I'd come in on Mondays and I didn't see anything that was tore up. Had I done that, I would have came and talked to them, but I haven't seen anything, so everything was put back. But once it changes over to being operated by the Senior Advisory Council, that they would have to get with them and talk about that and then go from there. And there's another side note, and I just wanted to bring this up. The village supersedes most activities in both centers, being the community center or being the senior center. So if the village is having an event that represents all of the residents, I'm sure they'll let the people that needs to be in charge or needs to know ahead of time that they're having an event there, and it shouldn't be any problem. It shouldn't be any type of problem. They should get that schedule ahead of time. However, there's some things that came across my desk, and I need to, and I'm glad that the Senior Advisory Council Chairman is here. There's going to be I guess, collection for the holiday for non-perishable items. And it was brought to my attention that they needed a place to store those items. And I was told that they couldn't do it here because of this, and they couldn't do it there because of that. Well, I came up with a simple solution that they stored in the senior center office area. It's just canned goods and other non-perishables for about a month or so. They can store it in the corner. That office is not used for much anything because I see that when they have their meetings, they have it in the television room. So I don't think it should be a problem to be able to store those things on that table that's in that corner right there as you go into the senior office, senior center office. So that would be a better place to have it stored. If you have any questions, please let me know. But I'm thinking that wouldn't be a problem. All right.
So Trustee Brewer, will you go back and revise a few of these sentences on page 5 before we vote on this next week?
What do you want me to change?
Specifically, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 6th one down, the one that says SAC shall control the disbursement. I think it should say, the 6th one, it says, I think it should say Sauk Village or Village Hall or something along those lines, not the SAC.
Well, and actually, I would suggest that the clarity that's needed here is that it needs to say that the SAC will have its own general ledger. The village will maintain custody of the funds through the deposits and withdrawals that they dictate what comes and goes. And they've got their own accounting, but the general ledger accounting that Roland does backs that up, and will reflect the same. But that's where I think the clarity needs to be to say that the general ledger will be here, and that you will work with the finance director, not control per se. I think that word control is a little strong. I think that will make more sense.
And then there'll be 2 line items, the one for the SAC and then the one for the rental. So there'll be 2 separate lines, correct? 2 separate GLNs. So the rental one, that will be separate, right? Oh, percentage was the same one, the one for the,
Because that's village income, not Parks and Rec or seniors.
So you want to send me the language you want me to use on page 5?
Sure, I think we come to an agreement now and just say what we want, so that may should be, so take out SAC
Is it
and word
gonna be-
control.
I have a question. Is it going to be you or Mr. Farmer, or who's going to be doing it?
I'm going to change the, yeah.
Okay, just wanted to know because he was the chairman. That's what you have on. I guess what I got from the. I have no problem with you helping him, but I just wanted to know is he is the chairman, correct? Okay.
Now, one other comment on page 4, you've got a training requirement there, the OMA training. That's not a requirement for committee members, it's a requirement for commissioners.
As you get, we found notice before, this is something they wanted to do.
What page is this?
Or, so they better understand how to conduct meetings. And also, at one time, just make it optional in there. There's nobody's going to press them to take it or not take it. It's just something you wanted everybody to be abreast of who sits on the committee.
Well, you said, oh, I see. You're talking about training requirements?
Right.
You said all members of a public body subject to OMA must successfully complete electronic training. That's what you have on here, must. You're saying now that it's not a requirement, or someone's not making it a requirement?
I'm saying the state does not require it. If you want it to be optional, that's fine, and say optional. Must is not optional.
And it says those persons who become members of the committee must complete the electronic training no later than 90 days after the members assume his or her responsibility. After completing the electronic training, the copy of the certificate of completion, which it is. So if a person doesn't complete the training for some reason, they're automatically off the SAC?
No, that's not what,
Yes, sir, that's what it says.
That's not, I understand it, but that's not the intent.
The intent and what's in writing, what's in writing what makes, the intent is not in writing. If you wanted the intent to be there, then you need to put that in writing. But this states here that they have 30 days, 90 days. And no, after 90 days, they're not part of that committee. Because if they haven't taken that training, then they can't be part of the committee.
At one time, we had the word optional there, we leave, but, you know, if you want.
But I said, but right here, you said those persons who become members of the committee must, not maybe, or when they get, if they want to, must complete the electronic training no later than 90 days.
Oh, then please put optional in parentheses.
No, you gotta take the whole sentence out, trustee.
Okay, I'll just say,
I'm just saying you have to, because you can't have that you may stop and then you must stop.
I would suggest if you're interested in doing it, take that paragraph out and simply replace it to say, any committee members interested in OMA training.
You want us to do that?
No.
Okay, well, this is their suggestions.
Well, as is. I
It's gonna be voted on next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, trustee, Grant, when you send me the phrase you want me to use,
Any other questions? Okay. Are we interrupting something back there? Yeah, look. Okay, Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Trustee Tate.
I'm sorry, which one? Okay, so here we go. Okay, I get so many that they revise, so this one is no. So this one here is Madam Trustee Tate. Trustee Tate, I'm glad you told me, Trustee Trufant. Thank you so much. Trustee Tate.
Okay, last Friday, the printer sent a copy of the resident handbook over, so that was given to you at the last minute. And I talked to the clerk about receiving stuff at the last minute, which this was received. Just a couple of things, I think. The questions that have to be answered with regards to that, it's going to be on a glossy paper, which I can hand this around so you can see what glossy means, or what it feels like. It's going to be on a glossy paper. You need to decide. I had stated that I wanted it on a cream colored paper as opposed to white paper. You can decide which you prefer. You can also decide if the print should be in black, blue, or whichever colors you think the print should be in. So before you return that, you decide whether or not you want the color, cream colored paper for it to be printed on, or if you want white paper, or if you want black print or blue print or some other color print. So you can decide on that. On the sample that you received, the inside cover of the document will be blank. The first page, it will be blank when you open it up. As of right now, the mayor appears on there. He will be shifted to another page. So, yes, sir. So it will be a blank page there. Now, when you look at this paper, because it's thin, there's bleeding. So that's why the glossy paper will prevent the bleeding of the print from one page to another. One thing also, at the rear of the document will be blank pages. That's so when the resident starts to review it, he or she can make notes back there. They can make, identify specific phone numbers, whatever they want to do. But there's some, will be blank pages for the resident to use to make any kind of notes that he or she needs to make for reference. Rather than reading the whole manual, they can jot down Public Works, or I'm sure they know the 911, but they could jot down Public Works or what other phone numbers they need, so that, excuse me, it becomes an easy reference for the residents when using this document. The question was asked about the logo, the front page, and I've been told the village has several logos going out, which it should not have, but
You need more over here.
So we placed on the front of the handbook. Now, I'm asking that this be placed on the agenda for next week for approval. I've tentatively stated that I will be back at the printer Wednesday so that they can get started on the project. The project is right now running about a week behind because of other commitments they have. So I would like to get in a packing order that we can get this done and get out of their way for their other work that they have. So I'm asking that this be placed on the agenda for next Tuesday. The glossy paper, the color of the paper, the color of the print, the note pages at the rear of the document, I think those are the relevant portions of the whole presentation for this. None unless someone has additional questions.
Any questions?
On page 7, in the 1, 2, 3, the third paragraph is a typo. It's a typo. On page,
Wait a minute.
What's the start with?
4, it's supposed to be 4, right?
Oh, F-O, okay.
Okay. On page,
F-O, I thought.
Okay, Trustee Brewer, that's what you have that to comment on. That's due to me by next Friday. I thought you had some questions other than what you're finding
my
out.
question is to you is that, one of the big things that you have with the senior committee is that, at the bottom of the senior committee pages for the ordinance 93-19, you said that was outdated, like 24 years or something, you were saying, when you came to the meeting on
Okay.
Thursday. So my question is to you on page, where you talk about water. The last thing you talk about water is in 1997. That's
What
decades ago.
what page?
Water. On page 7, starts talking about water and the kind of things that's going on. Whoever doesn't mention it. You do mention we have term against 2015, but there's a lot of things that went on that residents should be aware of, that we're trying to fix the infrastructure. If you read this, it only seems like it goes to 97, and the rest of the time we just put an iron removal system in, but there's a lot of things that went on in there. I think it should be added, you know what I mean, to include the last 2 decades of what's been going on with the water and what we're trying to move forward to, like fixing infrastructure and stuff like that. That's a paramount piece of Sauk history that we need to issue. The residents know that we're working on the water, that we're doing everything
that's not here. This is talking about the last one that was defeated in 1997. It doesn't talk about the one that passed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I don't remember that one, but it's additional info, you know, to make it more complete. And then another thing is that I don't think the handbook goes because you start, in some sections you talk about the, animal license, and then you go to, water billing,
Tell me which page you're looking at.
page 13. You talk about drivers, and you go to the, animal license, and then we go to, the water. It seems like it's out of place for me. The format is right, it should be uniform.
Okay.
So it seems like it skips all over the place.
Okay, if you could, when you make your comments, if you could indicate that. But this document was not created to give a history lesson on Sauk Village's water.
Do you want to see your policy?
Why are we discussing senior? May I discuss this?
Well, that's what my point is being. That's what you brought up, and that's what I'm giving back to you.
Mr. Mayor, she needs to stick to the subject.
The subject is
The subject is this book.
the handbook.
Yes, that's the subject. Stick to the subject.
I'm sticking to the subject.
Okay. It's not intended to be a history lesson. Now, if people want to find, okay, you go ahead and talk. I'll wait for you to finish.
I'll wait for you to.
Okay, we're not gonna do it. It's, you have a question? Do you have a question in regards to this? Pardon me?
So I'm finished.
Okay, go ahead and finish your comment.
Okay, I think the format should be a little, differently, where things that belong together should be grouped together, like the garbage and the water should be grouped together. It seems like it doesn't go, right, and then on page 7, you indicate committees and you name all the trustees, but then you start off with Parks and Rec. Your first trustee that you, started off with budget and finances should be trustee Grant. There's nothing that indicates anything about the budget and finance. Next thing is housing and building. There's nothing in here about housing and building. You start off with trustee Jones, Parks and Rec. So are we missing something in there?
Did you, okay, so you,
On page 7.
I understand, I'm looking at what you're saying, I'm looking at exactly what you're saying. Did you know that Parks and Rec is the only committee that's backed by the, budget? Backed by the taxpayers? Backed by the property tax? That's the only committee that's backed by the property tax. The rest of them are ad hoc committees. There's money that's taken out of the property tax that is earmarked for Parks and Rec, always has been. But does it matter who's first, second, or third? That's my question.
No, I'm just going, just starting off with Parks and Rec, just seeing,
Right?
then next one here about budget and finance and housing.
Oh, you mean as far as, you talking about giving a small summary of what each committee?
Right.
You have an encyclopedia, you keep doing that. I mean, you
got a different book.
This is on page 7, you don't have that?
Page 7,
What does it say under committees and commissions?
It
Committee of the
says,
Board of Trustees, do you have
budget
one?
and finance and housing and building.
You don't have to. Okay, you then do that, Sam, because some of the things you're talking about, I don't see it in here. So I was wondering if you had the same one.
No, what do you have highlighted? I see yellow highlighted.
There's reason that it says highlight, because I'm gonna be putting I have it highlighted because that's stuff that I'm gonna be turning in.
But I think that's where we're looking at, and she's.
Okay, she's looking at page 7, and she has, there's a paragraph for Parks and Rec and senior citizens. Senior citizens.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, she's just saying.
I see what she's saying, okay.
Paragraphs about the other committees.
The other committees that doesn't have a highlight or whatever.
Right. Oh, you see?
Because I was on a budget plan, like, well, it is here.
On page 9, there's no senior fund,
Wait, whoa. There's no who?
senior fund,
Is there a senior fund club?
there is one.
There is one?
No.
Oh, okay, you're looking at the organization. Okay.
And Sunshine is no longer
Okay.
And I still think in between each paragraph, there should be a space because it's too crowded.
You mean the format of the whole thing?
Yeah, it's too crowded, people are not going to.
That's, any other,
And then he has, well, whoever has the, after each paragraph on 11 or so, they have the telephone numbers in there after each paragraph.
okay.
And then, of course, the typo.
Well, you have one typo.
No, I got,
What's the other typo? Because I only heard one.
I got typo on 7.
Page 7? Okay, that was 4.
Let's see. 11,
What was that?
where it says any pool down there should be 4 feet, and you got, whoever has FET.
Where is that located?
It's, third paragraph up.
In your pool with the filtration
FET
system?
should be feet, I think.
With the filtration system?
Yeah, that paragraph, right, yeah.
Also provided with the ground fault interruption? Oh, 4 feet, okay, FEET, okay.
Okay, and then on 13, it has, any person, that's the next, third paragraph from the bottom, it should be, dog, I think, D-O-G-S, dog.
Oh, DOG, with 3 dogs, S, okay. Okay,
And on the back, on page 14, things have changed, and, village treasurer, Susan Bateman.
okay.
Comment.
Mr. Mayor, if you take a look, I sent everyone an electronic version of the document that you can review, and you can see some of those changes were made in the electronic version. As I stated, this was received this past Friday. So you're not gonna see everything here. I'm sure you're gonna, and I hope that everybody catches something that they want changed, so that when I go back to the printer, we can collectively give the printer everything that we have. But on the electronic version that was sent out to everyone, and I think everyone should have received it.
Did you get a copy of the electronic version, Trustee Brewer? Oh, you did? Was it, as he stated, was it was the same, it was,
Page 14 has a typo.
no, I'm asking you, was there any corrections on the electronic version?
Yeah, somebody wrote something. But the
Somebody.
typo- Whoever sent it to me has.
Trustee Tate just said he said.
Okay, has a couple of comments there, but there are still typos in the contract.
Okay, so if you want to submit that to him, because he's asking to have it printed, he's asking to have it put on the agenda for voting for next week.
Comment.
Wait a minute, hold on just a second, are you through?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, my thoughts is, there's plenty, if not too much, information for far as, informational packet should have. So, I mean, to take out, to eliminate, we can nitpick, like I said, once again, like the senior policy. We could go through this every week, we could find something, we could say it's not enough, we could say it's too much. Technically, this could be simplified to basic phone numbers. What was put in here went well beyond what we needed to have in here. So, I'm glad that we have it, but to try to find every little option or every little thing to add to this isn't Sauk Village Bible. And also with the senior center, it's not Sauk Village Bible. We have way too much information, and we as a board have spent way too much time dealing with this. We need to get it approved. If we have something later on down, it's not going to stop any action of this board. It's not gonna make anything change overnight. There is no policies in either one. I mean, this policy, we understand this, but it will be changed. Once the senior center gets rolling, there will be things taken out and added. So, I mean, we have spent way too much time dealing with this, and I think we should move on and here, I mean, some of the corrections with the spelling, fine, we understand, but to go back and pull things out, I mean, we could just continue to do this. Second question, is there a different fee for the glossy paper?
No, there.
Okay, that's it.
Any other questions? Okay, are you asking to have this put on the agenda to be voted on? Madam Clerk? Okay. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor. About a month ago, we talked about Can you hear me okay out there? Okay. About a month ago, I was asked to come up with something, and I was given the deadline of October 27th for the communications outreach initiatives that I asked to have. So today is my presentation to you. I asked to be on the agenda, but my presentation starts with this document right here. And the subtitle is Utilizing Technology to Engage Residents and to Promote Sauk Village. The very first page talks about the methods of engagement, and that is, as mentioned before, we will have an updated village website, a new video that will not cost the village any funds. However, the persons that are doing the video, we know that we will carefully monitor what they produce for us because they made that attempt in the past and it depicted a Sauk village that we had never even seen and haven't seen since. So we are going to have a new video for the website. The website is going to be very interactive in that trustees will assume responsibility for all of their committee's engagement on that page. Meaning, you have an event, you will market your event, you would put it on the calendar, and we think that for it to be more intuitive along that way will better meet our needs, because as it is right now, no one has access to the website other than our IT person. So we are dependent on him. So this way it's going to work really well. We're talking about a village newsletter, and I'll go into that a little bit later, but the name of it is called Sauk Talk News. We're looking at social media pages, that's Sauk Village e-news, and right now it's only on Facebook. With some of the volunteers and everything that we have, we can move towards some of the other items, other sites that younger people will frequent so that they will know what's going on, especially with parks and recreations as well. And we're also talking about our Sauk Village email system, which is called Sauk Village e-news. Let's talk about the goals for the website. I'll start with what's needed from you. I've mentioned it before, and I just going to keep mentioning it, and that is I need a biographical sketch of each and every one of you. You gave me a picture.
I'll give you a bite.
Yes, but it was, you know what?
No.
It was hard copy. It needs to be emailed, electronically sent, so that it can be formatted, electronically sent. And then a headshot. Now, Joe Visabody, who is a photographer, has offered to take all of our headshots.
And I believe he's talking about he's willing to do that next week. So if we want to plan something for next Tuesday, everybody come looking pretty and prim, that would be quite nice. Well, you're going to be that way anyway because we have a regular board meeting. So we'll meet right out there. He'll take your picture, let you look at it, get your approval. We'll move on, and that'll be out the way. Also, to make it very easy, most of you, I mean, all of you have run for office at some point in time. Think about all of the wonderful things that you stated in your biographical sketch there. You're not recreating you. So just give us some of that and share with us which committees or councils that you work on. And then we can take it from there. As we look at the email system and social, we want to look at using Sauk Village e-news for announcing events, activities, jobs, and I'm not going to read all of that to you because we're not going to do anything with this really until next week, but I just want to draw your attention to it. We talk about the Sauk Talk News. That's the newsletter. You can see that information there. You can read it for yourself. I did not want to wait until Friday to give you this information because I was so excited and the committee was so excited to start putting it together for you. The newsletter will look comparable to this. Once again, we're looking at the glossy paper. It will be 8 to 12 pages, probably no more than that. The very first one that we're hoping to get out of the door is really like a demo, and we're hoping to do that in November, and that one will not be published, but it, like the other editions, will go on the website, the Facebook page, and the newsletter that goes out. You know, the e-blast that goes out. But we just want to, you know, highlight it and let people tell us what they think about it and all of that and get some feedback from the community as well. So that's why we're going to do a preliminary edition, which is going to be a very brief one. And you have that's attached to that packet. Know that there's more work to be done on it. There are not actually articles there. It's just placeholders. The color will be more vibrant than what you see there. Included in your packet, articles. I know in the past when we did Sauk Talk, every trustee, every director, head of whatever was just hounded to give us an article. We're not going to hound you to give us an article. We're going to showcase whatever you have. If you present to us an article, we will put it in if it flows. If not, then we'll, you know, postpone it to another edition or whatever, but know that you will not be just bombarded with questions. Also in the packet is something that we created, and that is the ad rates and agreement, simply because we are planning to do this newsletter at no cost to the village and no cost to the residents. We would like to do the newsletter strictly from ads. So we will be contacting a number of businesses in and outside of the village of Sauk Village who would want to promote their upcoming special events or their business with us. So there are no prices there, but I just wanted you to see that the committee has been working very, very hard on this project since you mentioned it to us, and this will go out. We also secured 4 quotes. Those are the last 2 pages that you would see. 4 quotes, 1 for black and white, but we really don't want black and white. And 3 of them are for color. And so you can see the different prices. They're all basically comparable. It's really just a matter of preference. But we've gone with Minuteman Press, who've done quite a bit of work for the village. We looked at 2 new companies, one that's working on the resident handbook, and the other one is another new company that's really in Tinley Park. And I think those prices were, I think, the very best. But a lot of times it would be nice to go with someone who's closer in case you have to make special adjustments or whatever. That concludes the presentation that I have for you. I would like to ask that this be on the agenda just for approval, if at all possible.
Approval
To move forward with the newsletter and solicit ads. We have a letter from the mayor already that will go out to the targeted businesses, and so they would receive this, and they would receive the agreement and the letter from the mayor.
Are you talking approval for the website or for everything that you?
The website is not 100% ready for approval, so right now, if we can have the newsletter, that would be great. We do have a meeting with our IT person tomorrow, so if we can make remarkable strides tomorrow, then I would bring that as well. And you would have that in your packets on Friday.
Okay, and just so I understand, the ads will be part of the newsletter, correct?
Yes.
And then you're looking at, do you have approval for the post office permit renewal?
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yes.
Are you expecting to mail this out or just make it available?
We are mailing. So the cost of the ads that we will be securing, we are anticipating that it would cover the production of 4,500 copies of the newsletter, as well as renewing our postal permit. We used to have one and it expired June 1st of this year. It costs $225 to renew.
So you're talking about 4,500 copies per quarter?
Correct.
So we're talking about 18,000 copies per year, plus 18,000 postage stamps of some cost, but it's a bulk.
It's a bulk rate, so it depends on the weight of it. So it could be anywhere from 31
Have
cents.
you had any conversations with any of the village businesses to get a sense of how much interest there might be? I'm worried that we're not going to get enough to cover the costs.
Well, if we do not get enough to cover the cost, then we will not be able, we would have to abandon this project if we don't have enough because it's not in the budget.
So in other
So-
words, you're saying that you want to make sure that you get the funding first, and then after that, then we can put everything else together, correct?
Well, but in order to even secure the funding, I would need approval from this board to move forward as we are asking people for funds.
But I understand, okay, maybe you're asking to move forward. Okay, I understand that. My question is, if we don't get enough money from advertisement or whatever kind it may be, what's the contingent? Because if the board says, okay, move forward with the position or move forward with this project, and we don't get enough money, are you asking the board to subsidize the difference?
No, we would not ask the board to subsidize. What we would do is we would limit the number of instances that we
So
actually...
you're going to work within that money then?
Right.
Okay.
Because regardless, the newsletter is going to go on the website. It's going to go on Facebook, and it's going to be sent to them through email. So they're going to get it that way.
Okay.
Some of them will get it that way. We wanted it to mail. We want it to mail. If we only have enough to send out one a year, then
Okay.
we'll do a premium once a year.
So you're asking the board to vote on this contingent upon participation? And if they don't get enough, then, in other words, if we only get $1,000 from advertisements, then that's all we can
That's
do?
all we can do.
Okay.
And what's your fee schedule? I'm sorry, I must be missing.
You're not missing it because the fee schedule would really be on this rates and agreement form,
Right.
but some, at least one of our quotes did not come into us until, I think on that email it says like 3:30, 4 o'clock. So we were not able to plug that in. We will have a meeting on Thursday, and we will make those determinations. So by the time you actually vote on it, you will see how much we're asking.
Well, articles that the trustees want to put in, they have to be approved, or how does that work?
Yes, they will have to be approved, because why would they have to be
No,
approved? Because
by you?
they will be approved by the committee, because not the actual, the content would have to be approved. Because just like you just went through trustees and you found, you know, fee instead of feed or whatever, we want a very polished newsletter. Okay, so yes, we will share with you all the deadlines, you know, copy deadline, just as you know, you were publishing in the Sun-Times. And then if there's something wrong, we're not going to make the changes. You would make your change and resubmit. If you make the deadline, it gets in. If not, then it'll get pushed to a later edition. Is that fair? Yes. Yes, and there is a mailbox in the mailroom that says communications. So even if I'm not around, you could just put it right in that mailbox.
Question. Are you asking for, I don't know whose phone that is. I think it's okay. Are you asking for written or are you asking for email?
Electronic.
Electronic, so you said in the box.
Right, I'm sorry.
Okay, because, okay. All right, because, yeah, so if you're looking for electronic, then, yeah, it wouldn't be in the box. Yes, sir.
Of the 4 printers, I can say printers, of the 4 sources of production, do you have a preference of one over the other?
Not at this point, because as I said, one of them came so late today and the other one came this morning. So I was busy working on the presentation for you that I did not have time to really just delve into it. But as I said, we'll meet on Thursday and then we'll give our recommendation next Tuesday as we ask for approval, as we go for the vote.
How will you receive the money? As far as coming in from the,
Advertisers?
No, what I'm saying is are you creating another line item? But this is what I'm saying, how, when the checks come in from the restaurants or whatever the business is, how will the village receive the money?
It will be mailed,
Okay,
and the check will be written out to the village of Sauk Village, or if they're paying by credit card, they give their information and it's turned over to Mona.
and it's marked as,
Communications. Because as we get money in, as we produce a newsletter, we're going to have to pay monies out. So we will need a line item as well.
I think there already is a general budget for the Sauk office.
Oh, yes, there is. Yes. Yes. You're absolutely right. Any other questions?
I was going to ask, please, if you could maybe a little bit more clearly spell out for next week the 4 vendors with their quotes for the printing, because it looks like each one of these is for one iteration of the print, not all 4, right?
Correct. It's for one, so you would multiply by 4. So now,
And then add in postage so that we can see what the overall cost is. I'm assuming you have to do that anyway to come up with what you think you need to charge.
I will do that for the one that we decide that we would want to recommend, but not necessarily for all 4 of them, if you don't mind. Okay. we have an incentive for them. We have a prorated rate, so if they only are one-time vendors, their price is one thing, but if they cover all 4 of them, then they get a discount.
Any other questions? Okay, that'll be put.
Thank you.
That'll be on the agenda. Okay, general comments from the mayor and trustees. We're gonna start with trustee Tate.
I attended a meeting with an attorney who's familiar with the process for dealing with abandoned housing. As of right now, it appears that Sauk Village has over 300 homes, and we're not sure of the status of it. I will be doing some research trying to determine if that home is abandoned, and there are state statutes that we have to follow to determine if a home is abandoned or not. So there's legwork that we need to do. But what I would like to do is do a folder for each home in Sauk Village that's vacant. And two of the critical criteria to determine an abandoned house is that the taxes have not been paid in 2 years and the water bills have not been paid in 2 years. So that means that employees of Sauk Village who handle these issues, they're going to have to do some legwork and provide that information so that we can determine whether or not it meets the criteria. I must mention that our Director of Economic Development was at the meeting also, and he's interested in the abandoned housing as I am. And even though we may approach it differently, we think we're going to end up in the same place. Now, what happens is that once a home is declared abandoned, then there are options of it can be rehabbed to be resold. It may be in such poor condition that it's going to be torn down, which, as you stated, we don't really want to do because we won't receive the tax base for it. But those kind of things come into consideration, are taken into consideration when dealing with this. To find out if this program will work for Sauk Village, I plan on submitting 30 homes. And it'd be kind of a random sample with over 300 homes. I'm not sure we can do it systematically. So we're going to give them 30 homes to see what they can do with those 30 homes. If those homes are in such condition, they can be rehabbed and then resold. One thing that's going to be paramount is that if we want it to be owner occupied, we don't want an investor to buy up 30 homes, and then we may have a different situation. So priority will be given to those which are going to be owner occupied. We want to see how the 30 homes works out. We don't think that number is so large that no one can manage it. We think 30 homes is a good number to start with. To rehab these homes, it's going to depend on the cost, and it will not cost Sauk Village any money up front. We will not pay to have it rehabbed. Now, when the home is sold, naturally, the benefactor, the person who put up the money up front, wants their money back. So we're going to give them their money back in the whole scheme of things. But we don't come out of pocket. There's no out-of-pocket expense to Sauk Village to take on this endeavor. As I stated, we're not sure how this will work. We simply want to give it a try and see if it works to reduce our number of abandoned homes in Sauk Village. Now, that becomes a huge task because we have abandoned homes with squatters in them, and I'm sure they're not paying the water bill. But we have a lot of different situations in Sauk Village. A home is just not vacant and standing by itself. So there's something else going on with it. And that's legwork that we'll need to do to find out what's going on with that home at that particular address. But as I stated, we're going to pick out 30 homes. We're going to check to make sure the taxes have not been paid, the water bills have not been paid, thus it qualifies an abandoned home, and it falls into that category that we're going to try to pursue to reduce our number of vacancies. As I stated, as of right now, a rough estimate is that we have about 300 homes. I'm hearing now it's upwards to 400 homes. I'm not sure what that exact number is, but it's too many homes. So we're going to try to reduce that number of homes. And the first thing is that we're going to try the 30 and see if it works. If it does not work, then I will come back to you and say, well, Sauk Village doesn't need to be involved in this because it doesn't work because they're not pushing our homes in Sauk Village or it's costing Sauk Village too much money. There are a number of communities surrounding us that are taking full advantage of the abandoned home statute. I think we should get on board with that and try to do the same thing. Some of the other communities have had good results, and I'm hoping that we have good results. But it's just something that we're going to try to see if it works for us and if we can benefit from it. And with the Director of Economic Development pushing from his end to get some things done, I just think from both ends of the spectrum that it was, and I'm saying homes right now, we're not talking about commercial properties, but certainly that becomes an option for us also. But if we can reduce the number of that, and it's blight for the community, if we can reduce the numbers of unoccupied dwellings, I think it does the community a great service. And it hopefully will clean up the community and have it look a little better. So that's from that standpoint. On the back table are flyers for, I forgot the name of it, for breast cancer awareness. And that seminar is Thursday, and it's in Maryville. You can take the flyer and read it, and hopefully everyone participates or at least makes an inquiry. And breast cancer doesn't only strike women. Men are also affected. So the flyers back there, you can call, ask questions. I think it's going to be a good event to attend. And there'll be hopefully some good information that's going to be passed out to everyone with regards to breast cancer. And I think it's Breast Cancer Awareness Week, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a timely seminar, and it's for everyone. It's not gender specific. Anyone can attend and become informed. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Grant?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick comment. The Budget and Finance Committee was supposed to meet tomorrow, but it will be next Wednesday here in Village Hall at 7. And
Oh, they can meet in one day. In conference room, that's not a problem.
okay, what?
Okay.
Oh, right. Okay, well, I forgot another day then. I'll mention it next Tuesday at the board meeting.
Okay.
Who's on board?
Trustee Zupan?
I just wanted to let everybody know that I happened to attend a mutual aid meeting last week in Crown Point with our EMA team, and I found that quite interesting to see what they do from some of the interactions they have with some of the similar organizations in the area. So I'm going to try and continue to engage in those kinds of meetings with them, between them and the police department. I've already shared some information with Kevin Weller, and we'll follow up with him on a mutual aid organization that I think that our public works group can take advantage of as well. That's P.L.A.N. And so I just want to make everybody aware of that. And Trustee Tates, I just wanted to mention, you scared me with a comment that you made about the number of abandoned homes and not being sure what the exact number is. Since we are on the hook now for garbage bills that take into consideration the number of abandoned homes, I would sure hope that we know exactly what that number is. Sorry. Yes, exactly. So that was all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Brewer?
Last Thursday, the mayor and Trustee Tate attended the Senior Advisory Council meeting, made changes per the request to the Senior Committee Policy and Procedures. I'm waiting on the request from Trustee Grant to change the language to accommodate him, and once that's ready, it'll be ready for Tuesday's board meeting. I'll have a copy as soon as we get those changes, and I'll have it in everybody's box for that particular day, as soon as you get it to me, so we'll make the changes. I'll everybody in the city committee and let them know that we're making a few changes according to what Trustee Grant wants. And that's the end of my report.
Okay, Trustee Todd?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance Review Committee meeting will be October 23rd here at the Village Hall at 6:30. Also, I replaced the pumpkins. Someone decided to take 3 of the pumpkins from the front of the Village Hall, which we've never had that happen, but I replaced them with a GPS system, because I'm going to find out who took our pumpkins. No, I'm just kidding. But they did take the pumpkins, someone did, so I replaced them. Huh? They're gonna have pies. Whoever's got pumpkin pies, I know they took them. Those were pumpkin pie pumpkins though. Also, I had an opportunity to go to the fire prevention, their meet and greet, or their open house, I should say, on Saturday. And I took my great nephew, and what a presentation. I thought it was, I actually learned some things too about fire. They had purchased that trailer, and it's absolutely well worth whatever they paid. I was pretty impressed with it. And I think there was one more thing I was gonna say, but I don't know what that is, so. Oh, I know what it was. Trustee Zupan, did you get the email from the chief?
Yes.
Because he said he has that stuff, he just has to put it up. As far as when you buy from eBay, not eBay, but like Craigslist, and you want to have a safe place. So I think he just wants a suggestion as to where to put the sign. He was going to put it on the building. I think it needs to be like on a pole. So that ends my report.
Thank you. Trustee Jones?
October 28th is trunk or treat. From 12 to 3, starting at Rickover parking lot and then coming parade down to the community center. On the website, I don't know, I've spoken to Clerk Pruitt, and she didn't have anything to do with it, but the time and the location is wrong. I don't know who authorized it, I have no idea.
So what's on the website?
From 3 to 5 at the Village Hall.
3
So, yes. So I hope that don't create
what's
a
on
big confusion.
what's on your flyers?
The flyers is from 12 to 3.
Okay, so we need to.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Gerald's here today, but we need to get that taken care of ASAP, so.
Yeah.
Because there's people coming you may not have enough room over there.
Oh, okay. Well,
So, 'cause I was
yes,
thinking-
I got a few people coming.
Yeah,
too,
so I'm just thinking maybe we can talk and maybe have it behind Village Hall. You might have more room back there. I don't know, but that's something we think about. No, that's a long walk. You may just line them up over here if you're gonna have more than 10 cars.
Oh, yeah, well, we just have a continuous line.
I mean, but you don't think about having it behind Village Hall and be more people?
Well, no, not at this moment, no.
No.
I mean, what we'll do with the overflow, we'll just keep the cars flowing into the parking lot if that's what we need to do, you know. But at this moment, I mean,
Okay.
You gotta have traffic control, because last year, fire engine was blocked.
They're gonna have that out today.
One of the issues.
They're gonna have that training trailer out. To bring that out for that reason, and probably a fire truck.
right.
That's what I was saying.
Well, they'll have that situated prior to anyway. The
All right.
coming down, walking down from Rico.
Okay.
We also have line dancing, Miss Tina's line dancing on Mondays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. in the community center. American Cancer Society is every first Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Cancer doesn't take a break on a month. It's good to have awareness for it, awareness month for cancer. But this is the American Cancer Society is a place where you could go every month, every day, 365 days out of the year to obtain information about anything that you're dealing with, cancer, and questions that may need to be asked. And yes, yes, it's open to the public every first Tuesday, 6:30. Unfortunately, we won't be there. But if anyone wants to go, that is an opportunity to go and get some questions answered. And they have a lot of activities that is always going on that you may want to get involved in. And that's it.
What is the correct trunk or treat time?
12:03 or until.
Thank you.
Candy, if it run out, it run out.
Okay.
But the lineup in the March parade will start at 12. First come, first serve on the parking. If you want a good parking spot, I would recommend you get there early, get your car's trunk to decorate, and that's it.
Okay. I have a few things. First of all, as Trustee Todd alluded to, there was a trailer that was purchased from Park Forest by our fire department. It's an interactive trailer. It was really, they demonstrated it to us Saturday. Myself, Trustee Grant, Trustee Todd, and Trustee Tates were out there. And it was pretty interesting. They'll have it at the trunk or treat. The cost for that trailer, and I'm going to reiterate this, the cost of that trailer was $500. And if you see the interaction that's in there and everything that was there for that amount, they got a steal. The tires even look new. So, and then, well, quite naturally, it's self-contained. It's a generator that it can twofold. You can hook up devices to it outside, and also it runs it on the inside with the lights and television. So they're going to be probably soliciting. There's going to be a lot of soliciting going on in the next few years for upgrades and updates for that trailer, because there are a few things that are outdated. One being the TVs, but that's something that they're going to be coming to the different businesses. Also, this is something that I was reluctantly wanted to do, but this is something that has to be done. And it was a grievance presented, and we will have to put glass at the front counter. So the front counters in the near future will have the glass partitions that'll be there, and that's something that I couldn't get around. Should have been done years ago, supposed to have been done years ago, but I guess when you take over the new administration, they hound you and hound you. And the thing about it is, something happens and we don't do it, quite naturally, we're really, really liable. Another thing that happened yesterday, Cook County, Cook County itself took our tax allotment of $213,436. They didn't give it to us, and they claimed that we owed money from years past, and that we hadn't paid or whatever on a timely manner, so they took our whole tax allotment of $213,000. I quickly called some people in the county who called some more people, who we got in touch with the Cook County tax revenue director, and he told us that we had at one time had owed money. Well, what happened was they paid the village $350,000 over what they're supposed to pay. We were supposed to be paying them back. As you know, if anyone remembers, that happened to Country Club Hills of $6 million. And I don't know about them, how they paid it back, but you know, we were supposed to pay this back in increments. Come to find out that those promises or whatever back in the day weren't kept. So that's why they said, okay, let's take the whole $213,000. So after going back and forth and talking, they agreed to give us back our money, but we have to make an agreement to pay them $25,000 a quarter until it's been paid. So that's something that, if not, then we would, I don't know, it would have been really a hardship on the payroll for that kind of money, because payroll is due next week. So that's something that we've been working on since yesterday. We found this out yesterday morning, and today we finally found out from the revenue director for Cook County that they would release our money if we agreed to this particular item. So just want to let you know that that's been taken care of. Because I didn't know what we were going to do. And that's a lot of money to take away from a village at that particular time, and that's our allotment. So, and then the last thing.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt just before we do that topic? So, was it $350,000 that they overpaid us, and have we made any payments towards that, or are we in the whole $350,000?
We are in the hole over 200. I think it's 240,000. We're in the hole. So they must have made some payment somewhere, but this was like 4 years ago. So I don't know what, but they said they hadn't gotten anything in a while, so this is their wake-up call to let us know that, hey, and I guess they made some arrangements back then, but they weren't fulfilled, so that's what they did, and that's what happened. Also, trustees, I just want to let you know I left some things in your boxes about different items. You can get back with me one-on-one, but I just wanted to let you know how important it is when you contact vendors, or I guess you can call the lawyers vendors, engineers. They're vendors because we actually pay them. They charge for each and every little thing that we do. They're not your friend. They talk like it and they say, hey, how you doing, what's going on, but they're charging. They're charging every time that we pick up the phone and ask questions. So I did leave a directive in your boxes, and I'm hoping that everyone got a copy. If you didn't, please let me know after the meeting. But I just wanted to give you an example. I'm gonna pass this around to let you know what little you may think costs, or that you just ask a small question, and how much money it will cost, or how much money they charge us for that. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that we control that, because that money is not in the budget or anything else. They charge for everything that you ask for. It may seem like I just asked a question, I need to get some answers. Sometimes we can put our heads together. I'm sure that we got enough expertise on this board now quite naturally, something brand new, yes, we gotta go to the lawyers, because we have to make sure that we cross all of our Ts and dot our Is. But I just wanted to let everyone know it's not just one, we just have to look at, and that's very simple. That's a very simple thing. And yes, we asked them to come out and give a presentation, but you see how much that presentation costs. It's not that you didn't need it, but I'm just letting you know everything we asked them, and that's just one entity. You ask the lawyers a question. We need to really look at costs, because we just don't have it like that, or we can probably circumvent some of those answers if we just do it within ourselves and come to I won't say I know all the answers, but I can get those answers, and it won't cost a lot of money. So I just wanted to let everyone know. All right.
The analysis, them trying to determine
I mean, I can talk about this, but go ahead.
No, I'm just wondering, it says research analysis.
That's what they put up there. I mean, that's their heading. Because I asked them to itemize everything. Every bill we get now, be it the lawyers, the engineers, whatever, I ask for a itemized. I don't just take, because they just send you a bill for X amount of money. I want to know why we're paying for everything, not just this, for the lawyers and everything too, because I found too many discrepancies. I found something that they couldn't answer. I'm still waiting on the answer for some things for the lawyers that I've asked a month ago.
So research analysis is their heading?
Yeah, well, if you ask a question, that's research. They got to do research on it. And then they have to, analyze it before they get you. In other words, if they don't know the answer, they have to go and do research to get that answer for you.
Okay, and his document, does that mean that something was provided?
If there was a document provided, but that's their heading for anything. If you ask a question, however much research it takes for them. I mean, I'm thinking it's only going to take X amount of time, and by the time they do the research, it does take a while. So, but it's just that we should, first of all, exhaust other means before we go to this. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm a little confused and concerned. $1,700 is a lot of money to spend in a month for them to do an analysis and to provide documents. What were the documents for?
I don't know the scope of that. I just know that it was done, like you stated, 3-4 days, within a week's period of time. It was asked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So, and that's just in 1 week. So, if it's something that you have, nothing wrong with asking questions, but let's formulate it in such a way that we don't continue to keep asking, and it's not just them. And also about the contacting the village employees. I mean, I have no problem with that, but it's just an excess. I mean, if you go in there for 10 minutes, that's no problem. But if you're every day for 10 minutes, then there's a problem, because now what is it that we need to know? Because I do know that sometimes that the trustees come in and ask Mohan questions, but Mohan is the finance director fired. But he tells me most times it's only 5 or 6 minutes. But if you're doing it every single day, then I need to know what is it that what's going on that has to be answered every single. No life changes that much. So, and then to keep asking and to keep doing things repeatedly, and it seems to me like it's a pattern. I don't understand, but I just got through answering a FOIA that was about 300 pages. And we had to mail that back to 300. We had to mail that back to the state's attorney. The packet was about this thick. And it came in through the clerk. She got it. But some of those things that were on there were already answered. But I have to take responsibility because I talked, but I didn't put it in writing. Like I'm talking to someone. I should have put it in writing, and it was stated. So from now on, everything I do or whatever, that's my fault. It need to be put it in writing Even though I'm telling you that this is the gavel, I need to write that down, saying this is the gavel, because that's what happened. And like I stated, it went through FOIA. No trustee should have to FOIA. This doesn't make sense, but they got the Attorney General involved. Attorney General wrote us a letter. I had to send all of the everything in to the Attorney General and then give it to the trustee too. And the Attorney General will make a determination and write it back. But we just sent it in today. Had to be done. We had to get everything. But there are still some things on there that I will not disseminate. I will not disseminate somebody's address, personal information, phone numbers. I will not do that. Even though we have copies of them, that's not our job to disseminate somebody's personal information. It will not happen. The second thing is that if it doesn't exist, you can go to whoever you want. You can go to the president. If it don't exist, it don't exist. That's what that means, it doesn't exist. Nobody's trying to hide anything. So if I say it don't exist and you go to the Attorney General, it still don't exist. It doesn't exist, so. But anyway, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I want to make a comment, because
A comment on what?
on what you just said.
Okay,
Okay, you gave out this, document, and it's clearly has my name on it.
that's what was told to me.
But
That's not my handwriting.
I've asked, since I've been here for certain documents, nobody will respond. I put it in writing, nobody will respond. So therefore, I put it in FOIA request, because therefore you have to respond to it. Now, as far as this particular document right here, I have asked Mohan many a time about the tips. Okay, he doesn't have time, or he doesn't want to give you any information, okay? So what do you expect a trustee to do who should have access to financial documents in order to make a decision? Secondly, I'm on the infrastructure committee. I have to know how much money is out there, or how much money we have in order to do certain things for the infrastructure. So for you to limit conversations with Mohan, because Mohan, if you sit there long enough, Mohan will tell you what you need to know, about finance. And if I can't get the information from him, of course I'm gonna go outside there. That's our job. That's why we're elected to find out about the money. So since you're denying me my fiduciary duties and stuff, I had to go to other places to get it. So I don't understand why this is such an issue. Yes, I need to know the information. I need to know how much money was in the tip. I couldn't get that information from Mohan. I went to Mary Thompson. So what else were you supposed to do? I asked you several times, you didn't want to answer me.
You went to Mary Thompson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in 1 week.
I sent
For 2 hours at a
I didn't go
time.
to her 5 times. I sent her a set of questions. I didn't go to her 5 times.
But they billed us 5 different times in 1 week.
That's why you need to let me see the bill.
You
And
looking
then
at it.
not only that, where are the attorney bills? If there's other people.
I have not paid the attorney bills because I'm questioning those
Can we
too.
see
I have
an
not-
itemized copy of the attorney's bill?
Trustee Robert, we're not gonna argue back and forth.
We're not. We're
Okay.
supposed to be watching money. If I can't get.
But you're not watching money with this. This is not watching money. You could have got those answers just like anything else by having a meeting or talking to someone. But you wanted what you wanted and you didn't get what you wanted, so you kept going. You went from,
Nobody gave me the answer.
Trustee Brewer, you went from the 22nd to the 25th to the 26th to the 27th to the 29th. Each time, 2 came McKenna.
That's not true. I sent her one.
So
set
this
of
bill is a
questions.
lie.
That's right. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. I sent her one set of
Okay,
questions.
I'm glad you said that, because I will definitely, before I pay it, I will tell them that you, because they wrote this. I didn't know this happened until I got this bill. When I got this bill, I said, wait a minute, can you show me what it is that you did? Why did all this happen in 1 week for 2 hours a day that you did research on what? What is it that you did research on every other day, sometimes day after, and you did another one? What is it that you wanted that it could be possibly to do that for that kind of money? I didn't understand the meeting prep. That was the meeting and the preparation for that meeting that they came out and did a presentation. Everything else, I didn't understand. So yes, I will limit that. My job, like you said, your job, my job is to watch and make sure the money is spent wisely also. We just don't have that kind of money to somebody for 1 week's time to spend $1,200. That's just too much money for something.
That's something that we could have got right here. If you and Mohan had been.
If me and Mohan, we are transparent, right? Wait a minute, don't.
No, you're not. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to for you these things.
Any other questions? I'm not gonna go. Anybody else? I take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Madam Clerk? Okay, all in favor? Opposers? Motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned.